Let me see. I should be in there.
Hello.
How are you, Paudie?
Wait me 1 second. I'm gonna see. Can you hear me?
I can hear you sound. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can indeed. I just had my volume down on the headphones there. How are things?
Not too bad. How are you keeping?
Good. Now you're keeping busy.
I'm keeping busy now. Thank God.
That's good.
As I was just saying there, just before you came on, just a bit of an intro. This is episode 12. This is the third podcast now I've recorded in 24 hours. So if my
Jesus, you'll be.
if my
Your
brain
voice will be
fried,
hoarse. Your voice will be hoarse.
if my brain gets fried now, don't mind it.
That's okay. That'll be two of us. My brain is kind of in a constant state of crisp and fryness. So
sure, listen, when you work in the stables for that long, that was going to happen to you at some stage.
Well, that happened a long time ago. I wouldn't put it all down to the stables now. There's a build up of things there.
How's life treating you, Paudie?
Life is good, other than needing a haircut and wearing a hat most of the time. I can't complain now. No, it's different. It's strange. If you asked me 12 months ago, was the 11th of June 2020 going to be like it was today? Probably not. But look, making the best of the situation and focusing on what we can do rather than what we can't, and hopefully next couple of months things are positive. We'll see an upturn. You never know.
Exactly. And as a DJ now, this pandemic has affected, businesses in different ways. Some businesses are actually doing very well, and probably the pharmaceutical sort of sector and stuff like that. But as a DJ now, how have you find it? Have you found it a bit of time to relax, or?
But the problem for me is that I can't relax. So I love what I do. It's not the toughest job in the world. It's not the easiest either. People think I have a great job. It's all fun and games, and they forget they're the ones drinking and having a good time. And I'm having a good time too, but just in a slightly different way. The pandemic for me has just basically closed the business. You know what I mean? I played in the stables on, I'm going to say Wednesday, the 11th, I'd say, or something like that, of March. And then I played 3 nights after that, the Friday, Saturday, and Monday in Cork and Limerick and a few other places, wherever they were. And literally Monday, the 16th of March, that was the last gig that I played. And I haven't done anything since. So essentially, from a business point of view, it's closed since the 16th of March when I finished in Cork. I did a gig down in Kinsale. Actually, I just remembered it now. And it's going to be that way until places start opening up. And even when they do open up, there isn't going to be music for a while, or it's going to be slow. People are kind of learning to walk again, and they're kind of putting feelers out there. And seeing what's what and what's going to work and what's not going to work. So it's going to be an interesting second half of the year, which we're kind of in just at the start of now. But hopefully we get back sooner rather than later.
Exactly, yeah. And as you said there, it was mid-March was the last time you did a gig. April, May, June. We're nearly mid-June now. What's the last 3 months been like for you? How have you passed your days?
Today's the 11th of June. I would have played the 11th of March. So that's pretty much 3 months, not to the day, but to the date that I would have done my last gig. Look, I've been really busy. There's a lot of things, and I think a lot of people relate to the fact that we all have had jobs that we've been putting on the long finger, things adding to the to-do list, and then I'm too busy to do that. I was fortunate enough to move house there pretty much in January into my own house here in Limerick. So I kind of moved in, and there was a couple of things, not like priority jobs that needed to be done, mostly bits of decorating and things like that, just to touch up and put my own stamp on it. And they were things that I planned on doing kind of in my downtime, which would be generally Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays. My weekend would start on a Sunday. So I've just now accelerated that, and there's no walls left to paint or nothing. So I've been looking up and doing that. I have a website and things that was neglected for a long time, and just fixing up that, and generally messing around and trying to enjoy a bit of make a small bit of a holiday out of it. Obviously, on a business side of things, it's frustrating that there's no income coming in, but on another side of it, there's nothing I can do about that. So I can't worry about it every day. I do enjoy the bit of downtime and getting a bit of sunshine and getting out in the fresh air and doing all of that as well.
Exactly, because I think that's what nearly everyone has to do. Everyone's got that time. People are able to do things they never thought to be able to do. There's people building bars out the back of their house because we've got 3 weeks ago weather. Like, it's crazy. Like, even this podcast now, I wouldn't have started only for the last 3 months how it's been. You know, so it's giving some people an opportunity, and some people just turn around and say, do you know what? I feel like making a couch out of pallets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's funny, actually. People kind of really quickly forgot the fact that we get about 11 and a half months of crap weather, and they've all gone out and they're building like patios and bars, and they're spending a small fortune on garden furniture. And like, I don't know what it's like where you are now, but it's been raining here in Limerick most of the days. So
really,
I think it's sunshine now, but it's been raining here. So I think people soon forget how much bad weather we actually end up getting. But it is great. It's good to see, and lots of stuff happening online as well. You know, TikTok videos exploded and lots of stuff like that as well. So it gives people a chance to do things, as you said, that you just life goes on, you know what I mean, and there's you're just too busy.
Yeah, like you're saying there with the weather, Jesus, cracking the I wouldn't say cracking the stones. There's a nice bit of a breeze outside now, but it's been dry all day. We've been lucky now. I've like today we recorded a podcast there with three of the 3 bucks left. They're 3 of the guys off the Hardy Bucks. And we actually recorded outside in a ball alley. So
brilliant.
We were there for about 4 hours, I'd say, recording. Just
you wouldn't have got away with that now today here.
That's it. Like, we're just purely blessed with the weather. And like, I know this, like, Dublin mightn't be getting the weather that we'd be getting over here in the west, but any bit of sunshine at all, it's like as if we're making the most out of it now compared to, like, say, last summer or even, you know, March, February time.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there's different climates everywhere, like, but it's good. Look, the bit of like, it's a lot easier when the weather's a bit nicer, that you can get out, because I suppose people are housebound, like, you know, and it does rub off on you if you're looking out the window and the sun is shining and there's kids outside playing, social distancing playing, but you know, it does rub off on you. Whereas if you're looking out and it's raining and it's miserable, you're like, I won't go for a walk now today. And slowly you're like stuck in, you realize you've been inside since like Monday or something. You know, I've been out 3 weeks. So it's good to do that, and the weather helps with that as well.
100%. Just I suppose regarding the structure for this podcast, there's some of them that I'd like to structure. If I'm talking to different sports people and that, we might go through their career and stuff. But to be honest, in terms of structure, I want to do more podcasts with you. We might do another one after this in a few weeks' time if you'd be up for it. Because I want people to, like me, going to UL. We know you as the guy that's up on stage at rugby. I'm not licking your hole now. I'm saying it as it is. Like,
you're being very nice. Some people wouldn't describe me like that.
In fairness, though, you're the guy that's up on stage at Rag Week, and people are outside. You know, weather is good, weather is bad. You know, it could be fucking pissing rain, or it could be stones outside.
Snow. We got snow. we got rugby called off there a couple of years ago. Yeah.
But I just wanted this podcast for people to get to know you. You know, get to know Paudie Walsh instead of DJ Paudie, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
But there will be.
Well, ask any questions. Don't get too personal now.
I won't get too personal. Well, come here. We'll have plenty of time, hopefully in the next few weeks, to talk about Rag Week, because Rag Week is when it comes to Rag Week in Limerick from 10 o'clock in the day, you're in stables until maybe 5 or 6, and you're outside doing your stuff. But I want to go back to maybe when you started DJing first.
Yeah.
Was it always something you wanted to do?
Not really. Well, no, I won't say not really. Like when I look back on it now, you know, I suppose like when you're looking back on something with hindsight, you do have, you know, you're kind of trying to think of things and you're almost saying to yourself, that made sense. So no, I didn't really have any master plan or anything like that to be a DJ. Simply what happened was I was really interested in music, always have been. I was never shy. Like if there was anyone to go up on a microphone or anything like that, I'd be the first one up there, or at least if I was up there, I wouldn't be afraid to be up there. So literally, I used to work in a pub at home. So I live about 10 miles outside of Charleville, North Cork, and a small little village, 2 pubs, nothing major. And I used to work in one of the pubs, and the Sunday of the August Bank holiday was coming up, and the guy in the pub knew I was kind of techie off laptops and into music and that sort of thing. And he said to me, I cannot book a DJ for Sunday Bank holiday. Will you play? So I said, I will. And I had no equipment. So I managed to get a set of speakers. I borrowed a set of lights. I foolishly went to Ballybunion for the weekend, so the Friday and Saturday. It was the weekend, so this was the weekend, the summer between finishing my Leaving Cert and going to UL. So I actually went to UL as well. So that was the summer. So it was a party summer, and it was out every weekend. And Ballybunion, that time, used to be hopping 3-4 nights a week, and friends of mine had a place to stay back there. So went out there, came home, was dying, went down and did the gig. It went brilliant. Went really, really well. Started, I think, at 9 o'clock and played to about 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was mental. It was great crack. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I picked up 1 or 2 more local parties. Charleville being the closest town, or the town that I'd associate with, going out and things like that. I started getting a couple of gigs in around the pubs there, and just from there it kind of progressed, and now I've been full-time at it for 3 years. So I did all of college. It paid for me to go through college. I worked a bit after college, and then September 2017 I packed in the day job and said, let's give DJing a lash. And it wasn't the plan that I kept going at it forever. It isn't the plan that I'm going to finish it at the end of this year. It really was just something that I kind of said, if I don't do it now, will I regret it in 5, 10, 20 years that I wish I went DJing full time for a while and see how it worked out. And in between all of that, I started in the stables in my, I'm going to say second year was the kind of first gig I ever did there. And then I've been doing Rag Week there for 7 years, 8 years, I think, or something like that. It was the year after. It was the third year. So I was on co-op second semester of third year, as a lot of people are. And I took holiday leave from co-op to come down and spend the week in Limerick and play stables. And again, it wasn't like, it's really funny. Things have changed so much. For what people think Wednesdays are now, and if you go back 7 years, 8 years, whatever they were back then, like it's chalk and cheese. Like it's nothing. I used to play inside. There was no such thing as outside, and people came a lot later as well. It's the clock seems to be going back every year. I always remember one night, Kevin O'Brien, he's a guy, he works in the stables, he's one of the managers there. And I remember I was working at the time, and this was early on into the Wednesdays, and I was working late, and I tore over to the stables about 8 o'clock, and I said I'd no dinner, so I grabbed dinner and grabbed by the food there. And I was sitting in the stables at about 8:30, and there was 6 people inside there. Like literally, there was me, there was 5 other people, and the bar staff. Now we'd had a really good run of Wednesday nights. This was the early part of the semester, say week 5, week 6. So And I always remember Kevin came over to me and he was like, they ran out of money. That's it. It's done. You know, Wednesdays are going to go back to being quiet and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'd say by about 10 o'clock, there was about 900, 1,000 people inside the place and it was packed.
Wow.
And it's been that way ever since. And then I moved outside about 3 years ago, I'd say at this stage. And it's just gotten busier and busier. And there's nearly as many people trying to get in outside than there is actually inside at this stage. Like the queues are mental. And then Rag Week obviously has built on that, because when I started doing Rag Week, no one knew who I was.
Yeah.
Not that there's a huge amount of people that wouldn't in UL even know who I am, because everyone has their own kind of nights they go out. There's Tuesday crowd. You have the international students who tend to just, would be there on Fridays. And a lot of them, and then Rag Week rolls around and they're like, who's your man? And, it's funny, like you get a different crowd at different nights, and then Rag Week obviously on top of it.
Yeah, like me personally now, I'm going into third year now, and it was the Wednesday. We went to Black Rabbit on the Tuesday. They did Donegal Tuesday this year. And on the Wednesday, we went to Stables, and we landed, I think, at around 10:30, 11 o'clock. We were queuing outside till about 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, we I in, but it was just crazy.
I can honestly say, like, and I said this that day, the Wednesday of Rag Week this year was probably one of the best gigs I've ever done in the Stables. And that's taken in Wednesdays, that's taken in every Rag Week. I don't know what it was, but there was just something about that day. And a couple of people have said it to me, like Brendan and Declan in the Stables. There was just something about that day. Yeah, the queues are ridiculous. Like I remember that Wednesday going out. I went out in the town on Tuesday night, or I went somewhere anyway, and I was sick enough Wednesday morning. And I had drove over on the Tuesday. And because I had been drinking, obviously, that evening in the Stables, where I can't remember where I ended up. I don't think it was town. Could have been a house party or something in College Court or something. I don't know. But the van was there, so I had to get the bus over. I live in Doyle, and I had to get the bus over. And there was like people on the bus at like 11 o'clock. And I just got a message. It was like, doors closed. And I could see them getting off. I could see them getting off and kind of walking ahead of me to go in by the paddocks. And like the queue was just meeting them at that archway. And it went the whole way back by Spar. The stage was there. It was kind of wrapping around that.
Yeah, it went across the front of Spar. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like the whole way up to the door, 3 or 4 wide. And it was mad. Like, I don't know where all the people came out of it. And it just happens. There's nothing special about the Wednesday of Rag Week, or there's nothing special about the Thursday or the Monday or the Tuesday or any day. It just seems to be that every year a particular day just gets everyone's going. Like, I knew Monday was really busy this year. Monday was really busy, as it is every year. The Monday Rag Week is always, because people are fresh, people have money, people are out. The Tuesday, the Black Rabbit thing was never a thing. This year was the first time anything I think has ever been on in the town or in the city. Like what was on this year. But we were still really busy on the Tuesday. We had normal numbers. But then I knew people were coming Wednesday. Everyone I met, anyone I talked to, we'll see you Wednesday, we'll see you Wednesday, we'll see you Wednesday. And I just had this feeling that it was like a bit of a wave. People lost the run of themselves on the Monday. They drank the shit out of it all day, all night. The diehards maybe are the ones that had labs on Monday, were in the Black Rabbit on Tuesday, and then the ones that were drinking the shit out of it on Monday were recovered and they were back fresh for Wednesday. And then Thursday, everybody was fucked. Even me, I wasn't drinking Thursday and I couldn't wait to get out of there. I was like, can we just go home? And again, that's generally the vibe. Like, the Thursday is a tough day. It's a tough day for me. It's a tough day for the security, for the staff, and the students as well. Like, Jesus, they've been drinking for 5 nights or 4 nights at that stage.
You're just like, just get me home.
Yeah, exactly. Get me to Friday. Just trying to power through it.
Yeah. And I know I said we wouldn't talk about Rag Week, but it just
it just
kind of happened that we did.
Yeah, it just kind of rolled in there. Sorry.
As I said, you can't structure these things, you know.
No,
even today with the lads from the Hardy Books, tried to structure something, and I was like, "It's no point."
It can just go off
roll off
tangent, like yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm going to ask you about doing weddings. When did you start doing weddings? So as you said, you started in the stables. You were second year, third year doing the odd bit in the stables. Then you started doing Rag Weeks. So how long ago did you start doing weddings?
So so like a really quick timeline for me would have been doing local parties, things like that, when I started for about 12, 18 months, probably the bones of 2 years. At that stage, no stables gigs. Started doing an odd bit here and there because I was in college at the time. So there was like clubs and societies running fundraisers and things, and they'd ask me just because they knew me. Started doing that. And the weddings thing really took off for me maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. So maybe around the same time that I started like doing full time in the stables or doing a regular slot in the stables was when the weddings took off. And to be honest, that I just love them. Like I would do very little parties now. Right. And even I'd get a good few inquiries and people messaging me and DMing me on Instagram for people from the stable, say people like yourself who are having their 21st or whatever the case is. Will you come to Belmullet or something? you know, and we see every Wednesday or whatever. That's usually how it goes.
You won't come to cycle by chance, would you?
Yeah, and the thing is that with weddings they book, and so the diary fills really early with weddings. Like people now would be booking me for weddings. Say it's June 2020. We'd be looking. I booked someone in yesterday for July 2021 or 2022. So you're talking kind of 12, 18 months, 2 years out for popular dates that people will be kind of securing the date in the diary. So I started doing weddings, as I said, 6 or 7 years ago. I just loved it. And you become known for things. Like you could name a DJ now who is a club DJ or a party DJ or bar, whatever it is, and I may have never heard of them. And they might be from Limerick and they might be busy on that circuit. And vice versa, they mightn't have even heard of me because the wedding circuit is different. People do one thing or generally do another, or they're well known for something more than the other. But yeah, they're great crack. Like everybody's in good form. For the couple, generally, it's the happiest day of their life, or it should be, or one of them. And you're joining them in that day. Obviously, there's a lot of drink on board, and you're just there to have the crack with them. Like there's no secret to it or anything like that. It's just have the crack, play a bit of music, and you make sure everybody's happy, everybody's dancing, having a good time. So I've been doing that, as I said, full time now for 3 years, and basically started about 7 years ago. There's a lot of pressure in weddings. Because it's a one-off thing. Like, don't get me wrong, there's 3, 4, 5 times as many people in the stables. Say an average wedding would be 200, 250 people. You could have anywhere between 700 and 1,000 in the stables on a Wednesday night. So the amount of people isn't really the factor. It's just really the case that this is the one chance they have to get it right. And you better not be the lad to fuck it up, and you hear horror stories, and you can't plan for them. You can only try and mitigate them as much as possible, but you can't completely get rid of them. So there is a lot of pressure with them. Again, what I love is you're meeting a different crowd every night. It definitely makes it easier. But like for me with the stables, like I'm always trying to change songs, come up with something new. And as much as people might be saying, nah, he plays the same music every night, unfortunately that's what works. I've tried change the music in the stables, and if I gave you a playlist from 5 years ago, half of what I play now wouldn't be on it. So it does change. It changes a lot slower. But when you're doing something every week for the same people, or generally, like I'd be on a first name basis with half the people inside there because it's the same people in the door every week. They know you know them. Whereas when you have a wedding crowd, they generally won't have seen you before. they may or may not see you again. So it is good to have a fresh crowd. And if there is like a party piece that you do, or if there's a particular set that works really well, it doesn't feel outdated because they've never heard it before. I might have done it 100 times. I might have done it 3 times that week already, but they haven't heard it.
And the challenge, do you enjoy that challenge that comes with weddings?
Oh yeah. It's very rewarding. Like, you know, it's a tough job. Like people, again, it will go back to people saying that, you have a handy number. If it was handy, everybody'd be doing it. There's a lot of late nights involved. It's not really just the case of rocking up with a laptop and a set of speakers and a few lights. Like there is certain things, like there's people who are really good at it and there's people who are really bad at it. So there has to be something to it, but it is really rewarding. And even though I have played in Sligo a couple of times, and you're sitting in the van at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're heading to Limerick, I rarely stay over. If I'm heading back, if it's a good gig, you'll be on a buzz going home. You know, you get back to Limerick. I'm often more tired going to a gig than I am coming, because you feed off the crowd, you get the buzz, you get the energy from the crowd, like.
And just out of curiosity, where did you play in Sligo?
Oh God, don't ask me.
I didn't remember. Were there weddings or?
Yeah, they'd be all generally weddings. Yeah,
right, okay.
yeah. Oh, don't ask me. That if I'd often, like, I've an awful head for like names. I wouldn't remember a name. I'd remember a face. Don't get me wrong. If I met you in 12 months in the stables, I'd remember the face. But don't ask me your name. And I make no apologies. I just don't remember people's names. When I'm at a wedding or if I'm at something, I'll have like a sheet of paper with the name, like the important information that I need to know, which is who it is and where I am. I have been in a situation once or twice where I've forgotten where I am. Because you just sit in and you just set the sat nav and you get there and it's like, well, we're here now. And you forget, like, Sligo Park maybe or something like that, or played in Mayo a good bit. And if I'm playing in Donegal, I'll generally drive as far as Sligo, stay, and then come back. That would be the only time, because Donegal is about 4 hours for up and down 8 hours, so it's a lot of driving.
Yeah, it's a good tactic to have, writing the stuff down on the paper. And just before we wrap it up, I got 1 or 2 more things I just want to ask you.
Yeah, absolutely. Walk away. No, absolutely.
The red suit for the weddings. It's a bold look.
It's a bold statement. Yeah, it's out there. Yeah.
Let's say, just for people that don't know, you've got the red suit and you might have the red straps or the red waistcoat and the red Mike Converse as well.
Yeah.
The first time you wore that, were you like, geez, I could get the piss taken out of me here.
Oh, come here. I had the piss taken out of me before I put it on, because my brother saw what I was after. No, I'll tell you, right? That red suit, right? Everybody takes the piss out of it. DJs included, like lads that I'd be friends with for years. But at the same time, they're also kind of saying, fuck him.
Yeah.
You go to anything, right? You will not remember the name of the person. Like if I do a wedding, my playing time at a wedding generally is starting at about 2 hours, right? 90 minutes to 2 hours is what I'd play. Now people extend that, they'd have longer time, but on average, I'd be playing in the year of all the gigs, maybe 3 hours. That would be like the average. It's very hard to get someone's name in 3 hours. And remember, if you're after a load of drink, I don't do the tacky signs and the big pull-up banners and all of that. It's more of a sleek, clean look. So I'm always looking for something, or at least I was looking for something a good few years ago to kind of stand out a small bit. And it's funny, I'll turn up to a wedding or I'll turn up to a gig and I'll be in my plain clothes, to set up or whatever. And then I'll change into the suit and it's like, oh, you're that guy. So it's just you become the guy that does something, and it's a marketing thing really, and it becomes associated with you. And look, people will take the piss out of you and they'll be making fun of you. And then you go and you do the gig and you're fucking, it's shit hot. Like, you know, it's a great gig and like the lads, and then you're like, fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
try to put their arm around you after then.
Absolutely, yeah. So no, it is a marketing, and look, it's just a bit of, it's for consistency as well. If you want to have, like any job, you want to have a bit of consistency. It's a uniform for me. Now, if I go to a country pub and I turn up like in the red suit, like the lads at the bar do give you a fair look. But for me, it's, look, I have a bit of crack. I hop the ball with them. And again, it's just the consistency thing, and it's the marketing thing. And you have something to prove to the lads that are saying, look at the Egypt above. Like, you know, would I wear it to the stables? No, I'm quite happy. Like there's actually, it would add about 15 or 20 minutes. It does add about 15 or 20 minutes work. Just to put the bloody thing on and then change it after. So just the stables is a casual gig. It's my my midweek casual gig.
Yeah, and as you said, the marketing is ideal because someone will be at a wedding and then they'll be getting married themselves and they're thinking, geez, who will we get to do the music? Like, do you remember that fella in the red suit? You know?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And then you turn up to their wedding and you're in the suit. And, you know, it becomes,
it's like
again, it does, yeah. And or someone might meet you somewhere and you might have done a wedding that they were at 6, 8, 12 months ago. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, they see you and they're like, are you so-and-so? And it just rings a bell with them. And it kind of, it's you're trying not to be, it's a little bit over the top. You know what I mean? It's a little bit, but it works. And that's all I can say. I saw a guy, a band, a good couple of years ago doing something similar. And I just remember looking at it and I remember thinking at the time, there's something to this. You know, there's something here that everyone else is missing. Like most DJs, most bands you see, it's the black pants and the black shirt. And it just kind of blends into the background. And like anyone that knows me will tell you, if I see someone wearing a black shirt, I'll wear a white shirt. And that's just my personality. Like I don't want to be doing the same thing that everybody else is doing because otherwise you get categorized the same as them.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just have one more question for you.
No, yeah, absolutely. We've loads of time. We've loads of time in here. There's no hassle.
I know, but I want to make these. I want to do this in 2 parts, if you don't mind.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind come back again.
Absolutely. No, never. I'm not coming back again. That's it. Talk to my agent. Speak to my manager. It's not like I'm doing anything else. I have loads of time.
That's the same as. I suppose when you're a DJ, do you like to play stuff that... I know you said you've got a playlist now. Like there's a playlist on Spotify. Oh, that's like the DJ Paudie playlist.
That's not me.
Okay.
That's not. Someone made that actually, and that's a couple of years old now at this stage. I remember getting sent that, God, maybe 3 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I never actually found out. I did look at the playlist, and I was like, nah, I don't play half of it. Like I genuinely don't play half of that stuff. Or maybe they just added in songs. There are songs I do play. I've thought about making a Spotify playlist. I've been thinking about it, just like not of everything, but like of the 30 staple songs that you'd associate with the stables. But as of yet, I have no official, no matter what Spotify tells you, there's no official Wednesday playlist.
But just on the topic of like say making, well, not a playlist, but let's say your set that you're going to do at a gig, is that stuff that you know will get the crowd going? Is that stuff that's going to suit a particular age, audience, or is that stuff that you want to hear yourself, or is it a mix of all of them?
It's a mix. Like most of the music I'd play, I would listen to myself. Now, me with music, like you could sit into the van every day of the week and there'd be something different on. I listen to a lot of tropical house myself, just because I'm working here and it's got very little lyrics in it and you can kind of bop along to it. But I would never play that at a gig. Unless I was, warming up or, waiting to start or something. It's not important. the music I play generally is to suit the crowd. And then if it suits the crowd, it's what people will react to. Now, I might throw in a couple of curved balls as I do all the time. And that's what makes it a little bit fun. Like things like theme songs that everybody knows the words to. And things, most of what I play isn't chart music. I think people are sick to death of hearing the same songs on the radio.
Yeah, 100%.
3-4 times a day, even on some stations. Again, if they're popular songs, you can squeeze them in. But I'm generally looking for the hidden gem of a song that everybody knows, but nobody has heard in years. So it's music to suit the crowd, and it's music that I think people will get a reaction out of. Again, I might be aiming for, like, in some cases, not all, like a negative reaction, like a slow set, because there's something going on in the crowd, and I know that now is the time to play a slow song before the mosh pit gets any bigger and we have a bigger problem to deal with. So I might want to calm people down, and then I'll take them back up with Cascada and Bass Hunter and the Hannah Montana theme tune and Jerry Cinnamon or whatever it is. But certain songs get certain reactions, and it's playing them at the right time. I think that's back to the question you were asking a minute ago about, you know, being a DJ. We all play the same music. Like, there's no difference in what I play versus what somebody else might play. But I think it comes down to knowing when to play what song at the right time. So, like the Monday of Rag Week, the first song I hit in with was Mamma Mia, ABBA. Right? Now that you see, that sets a precedence for the week. Like that is the reaction that I wanted. It's happening. We're here. It's 1 o'clock.
It was like something from a film. You're up on stage, and then you're looking outside, and there's a few people outside, and all of a sudden people come flooding.
Oh yeah.
Flooding out from inside,
I remember walking up. They're all kind of looking around. They see you, and they're like, "Is he starting?" And there's music playing. Like, people are happy. Is he starting? What's the time's he going on? Blah, blah, blah. And then I just walk up, and usually the line is, "Afternoon, welcome to Rag Week 2020." In a little bit more of a uplifting voice than what I just said it there. But we go for that. And then I knew I wanted to come in with something that was going to get a reaction and a song that people would know. And as you said it there, it was just like a sea of people.
Yeah.
And we started. And that's what's important. I could have started soft. You wouldn't have got the reaction.
Yeah. And then, like, say when you're up on stage like that, and as you said, you're playing certain songs that will lift the crowd, certain songs that will kind of, you know,
bring them down a bit.
Keep them on the down. Are there any songs, let's say maybe 4 or 5 songs, that you know, if people are, let's say, you know, in, I suppose not literally, you know, that will get them off their seats?
Yeah, like there is, and that's not like, say, a blanket list of songs. Different gigs would get different crowds up. Generally, if it's a tough crowd, I'll start off with the sing-along stuff. Easy listening, but sing-along stuff. Songs that people will know, and they'll loosen up a small bit. Unless someone is really drunk or it's the right atmosphere. Let's take the Monday or Rag Week. What I'd play on the Monday would be different to what I'd play on the Thursday, simply because you're fresh on a Monday, you're not fresh on a Thursday. So for me to go in with the mindset on a Thursday of saying, yeah, I'm going to get these ones rocking. No. And don't be like, when I started, my whole object was to get people dancing, you know, was to, like, for me in my head, it was like, if I have an empty dance floor, it's shit. Like, you know, this isn't what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
You have to kind of put that out of your head and be like, no, what do we got to do? Are people enjoying themselves? Are they having a good time? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm there to do. We do the sing-along stuff. The classics always work. Like to get people out of their seats. I mentioned ABBA there. Africa's Toto goes down really well. Jerry Cinnamon seems to be like the go-to, belter and canter.
Neil Diamond as well, I'd say, would be up there already.
Who?
But Sweet Caroline, Neil Diamond.
Oh, Sweet Caroline, yeah, absolutely. Those sort of songs.
Yeah,
they're not chart songs. Yeah, and then once you hook them, once you have people, you can do what you want. Like I can go in, I do a small techno set. I wouldn't techno house, that sort of stuff. And then people are kind of looking at you. They're like, what the hell is this? Because that's not what they're into. And then you go back and you might go, into something else like the punk rock, Teenage Dirtbag, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then you start bringing it down. You do the Irish stuff, the Galway Girl, the Fields of Athenry. Because you have people from all different parts of the country, the Green and Red and Mayo, Dancing at the Crossroads in Wexford.
Yeah.
Those sort of songs. And it's what's working. There's nights I'll play a lot of Irish songs and people won't like it. And I'll go back and do something else. And there's nights I'll play Irish songs. And if I was still playing them, people would dance to them. So it depends who's in. It depends on the age. Generally, third and fourth years would like the more that kind of stuff that I just mentioned there. And then the first and second years would generally be more into, house and techno and all of that sort of thing. So the songs differ, but you can definitely get it. Like as the lads often tell me, like in security and stuff, like it's up to me to make sure that the crowd is under control. It's them as well. They're there to kick out the assholes. Like there's a lot of people that just do stupid things inside the stables and they get thrown out for stupid reasons. Like not even acting hard like they were fighting or squaring up to anyone. Nobody fights in the stables, or very little. It's always something stupid that they're
trying to get your 15 seconds fame, like.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they're looking cool. They're looking smart, and then there's two bounces around them, and they're being thrown out. But for me, watching down, like I will get the reaction, or I get a reaction that we want or we don't want. And I guess that's what the lads in the stables like as well. They know that I kind of know that. And we push it a little bit. We let it go not out of control, but we let it kind of, build, and then we bring it back down. And it's, exactly.
Yeah. I think that wraps up everything for today, because I wanted to leave a bit more for if we were to record in a week or two again.
Yeah, absolutely. No bother.
Paudie, thanks a million for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you asking. It was great to chat.
That's no problem at all. I know there's a lot of people in UL that'd like to hear from you as well. I'd say they miss you at this rate.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know. I have nothing confirmed or anything like that. But with the way things are looking, I don't think they'll see me this year. I highly doubt being seen in September anyway. I don't know. I'm only going by. I haven't spoken to anyone about it. I haven't confirmed anything like that, or but I think it would be hard to see 600-700 people in the stables on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Anytime in the near future. Unless something drastically changes between now and September, I won't be seeing you.
Like a vaccine or something. No, we'll just be, all we can do is pray for something like that,
Yeah, and I'd say it could be next year. I'd say college will be a lot different in September. I would see you probably doing a lot from Sligo.
Yeah, it'll have to be done.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But listen, good to talk. And listen, we'll touch base again next week or something. We'll do something.
Spot on. And thanks to everyone who's made it this far in the podcast and for watching or listening. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, this is up on Wednesday, so I'm gonna have another one ready Friday. So hopefully everybody enjoyed. And that